right back where I started from, where flowers of flowers bloom in the sun.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
All right, here we go. Good morning and welcome to California Historical Landmark number 35, Fiddletown.
Yay! Woohoo!
My name is Ray Nahara and I am the Executive Director of the California Landmark Foundation. And I'm very honored and excited to be here today to celebrate this joyous occasion. And I'm a little nervous.
No,
We can't even though I've done this a couple of times. You can't tell? All right. We have a very special 3-hour presentation for you today. Really short. Everybody always says that. The California Landmark Foundation is a volunteer-based 501.
there you go.
Come on.
There you go. Now you're talking.
All right. The California Landmark Foundation is a volunteer-based 501c3 nonprofit organization that's dedicated to California history. I've said that enough times that I didn't need this to do it.
You're good at it now.
Yeah. The replacement of this landmark plaque doesn't just signal that something happened here. It indicates that this community is invested in passing that history on to others. Because when someone steals a plaque, they are stealing from our entire community. Some people have asked, why replace this plaque when it just might get stolen again? Replacing this plaque is about making sure a piece of our history does not get lost to time and progress. It is about remembering and acknowledging where we came from and how we got here. But more than that, it might spark curiosity and open the mind to something greater. I remember when I came across my first California historical landmark, it ignited in me a need to go out and find more. And in the last several years, I have traveled thousands of miles and have seen and learned the most amazing things. From that single interaction, I created the California Landmark Foundation. And in our 6th year, this is our 6th plaque that we have helped to place. I would like to encourage everyone to go out and go outside, touch grass, and explore, and visit your local landmarks. I would like to thank Janet McLaury and the people of Fiddletown and surrounding communities for all their work in returning this historical plaque to their community. I would also like to thank the Fiddletown Preservation Society for hosting this rededication and for all the work that went into making it happen. I would also like to thank all the supporters of the California Landmark Foundation, volunteers Tang Nahara, Kyle Jarrett, and Jerry Felix, because without you, we would not be able to reach our goals. I would like to also thank all the supporters and followers of the Bill Beaver Project. And last but not least, we want to thank the California Office of Historic Preservation for all their assistance in placing the plaque. Now I would like to introduce from the Fiddletown Preservation Society, Janet McLaury. You want this in here?
Well, welcome everybody. I am so happy that you guys are here today to help us celebrate, because this is a really big deal to me. As many of you know, the original plaque was stolen last August. When that happened, it felt like more than the loss of a piece of metal. It felt like a loss of a visible reminder of our community's history and the generations of people who helped shape Fiddletown into the special place that it is today. But today is not about what's taken, it's about what was restored. One of the things I love most about Fiddletown is that when something important is threatened, people step forward. They volunteer, they donate, they give their time, their energy, and their support, and that means the world to me. The replacement of this plaque would not have been possible without the generosity of this community. behalf of the Fiddletown Preservation Society, I want to extend our heartfelt thanks to everybody who contributed. Every donation, large or small, and we had both large and small donations, are so greatly appreciated. So thank you so much for doing that. I would also like to thank Ray especially, because without him, this wouldn't have happened. So can you please give him a big round of applause?
Woo!
Historical markers do more than identify places. They tell stories. They connect us to those who came here before us and help ensure that future generations understand where they came from. As we dedicate this new marker today, let it symbolize not only our past, but also our commitment to the future. It may stand for many years as a testament to the resilience, generosity, and pride of this community. Thank you all for helping this day possible. Thank you for caring so much about Fiddletown. History survives not because it is written in books or cast in bronze, but because ordinary people decide that it's worth remembering. Thank you. And now, before I go, I'm going to introduce Elaine, and she's going to do a little history on Fiddletown. Thank you all for coming. My name is Elaine Zorbas, and I'm Fiddletown's historian. Managed to write 3 books about this little town. And I've witnessed people many times stop and look at the plaque. So it was very disturbing when it was wrenched from its home and stolen. People who come here for the first time are always amazed because they see Fiddletown as a small place. And I tell them, that's not the way it was. Fiddletown was the focus of attention. People were leaving San Francisco, deserting their ships to come here because this is where the gold rush had its beginning. So Fiddletown's origin was as a gold rush town. The plaque says that it was settled by Missourians in 1849. Well, the 49ers are not just a football team. They were the people, the thousands of people who came in search of home during that time. And Missouri was a very, the embarkation point because it led to the Platte River, where many people making the overland journey would start off there. So I was always looking for proof that it started in 1849. But I was very happy when recently a diary came my way that was written by a Missourian reflecting on his past. And as a young man, he came to Fiddletown, or I should say to California, in search of gold. And he was in the beginning near Placerville. But he and his brother and some other young men gravitated this way, and they came to Fiddletown. And Fiddletown was a place where they could get supplies in 1850. So it was already a town then. By 1863, it was a commercial hub, a trading center for camps all around the area. American Flat, for instance, one street that's named here, Suckertown. There were mining camps and mines all around here. And Dennis Townsend, who became Fiddletown's first postmaster, came here as an early resident. He made the overland journey, and he wrote home to his family in Vermont. And he said, Main Street Fiddletown had 15 to 20 stores of all kinds, a carpenter shop, 3 blacksmith shops. Blacksmiths were really important when you depended on horses and wagons to get around.
And tools.
2 bakeries, 3 restaurants. Now, he was kind of a proper man, so he didn't mention gambling establishments, saloons,
And brothels.
and the Spanish dance house. But by that time, Fiddletown did have a church, and it also was a place where people came for balls. And I'm sure some of the shops had silks and hats and dresses for the ladies.
whose skirts were so wide that they had trouble walking down Main Street, Fiddletown. By 1855, Fiddletown was a happening place. That was probably its heyday. And the population is estimated to be about 2,000 people. A third of those Chinese, at least a third of those Chinese. And we also have a monument across the street dedicated to the Chinese who are here. But often people say these small towns had 10,000 people. Can you imagine 10,000 people here? No. And 5,000 of them were Chinese. Not the way. But by 1855, Fiddletown had public baths, the Belle Creole baths. It had a brewery. It had Dennis Townsend. Besides being the first postmaster, at 1855 there were enough children so they could start a school, so he was a teacher. And he had a store. His store had over 100 newspapers from throughout the U.S., plus 80 from California. He sold stationaries. He had a library there, and Fiddletown still has a library. And he later sold musical instruments and toys. So Fiddletown was a place where you could get anything your heart's desire. Well, those days are past, the days, but we want to honor the people who established this community. And I should say, came here first to hunt for gold and stayed to establish a community. Because Fiddletown is still here. Many years later, it's still vital. Not quite with 2,000 people, but it's here, and we celebrate it today. We look back to that time of ferment when the first pioneers and adventurers came forth and created a new life, and that's what we memorialize today. Thank you.
Help me out here. All right, it's time to unveil the plaque. Janet, you want to help me out here? Let's
pull the stand out of the way.
Yeah, let's move this out of the way, actually.
Perfect.
Right here. All right, let's. Ready? Here it is.
Woohoo!
All right, it's back.
Son, kiss, kiss.